couple of months, and some not so glorious books in the last couple of months. Hi dreamers and make-believers, in today's video I am doing my reading wrap-up for November and October because, as you all know, I went away at the end of October, so I didn't get to do my reading wrap-up for October, so I'm going to do that now, and I'm also going to do November's wrap-up. So let's go. I will start with my October books first, and then I will move on to my November books. So I am doing really well at reading my 3 books a month. I'm finally there, guys. I'm finally reading 1 book every 10 days. Actually, some of them I've read in less than 10 days, and some of them I've read in more than 10 days, but I'm doing my 3 books a month. So I'm very excited. Yay! In October, I read 3 books. I read Stealing Snow by Daniel Page. I read 3 Dark Crowns by Kendall Blake. And Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. So Stealing Snow is a Snow Queen retelling, and it's about a girl that is in a mental institute at the beginning, and it's how she finds out, ends up back in her actual Snow Queen world, and how she's torn between both worlds, and there's romance, and there's adventure, and other worlds, trying not to give too much away. It is a very exciting, interesting premise. Sadly, I gave this book a 2.75 stars. I might round it up to 3, but I didn't particularly enjoy it that much. It is an easy, quick read. However, I felt that the main character was very inconsistent. One minute she's like ready to attack and like and the next minute she's like a mess who doesn't know what she's doing. She seemed to fall for every guy, and that is not an exaggeration. And as I said, it's kind of, there's a romance, that her whole driving force for doing something that she does in this book is love and romance, and then it's kind of hard to believe in her love for this person when it seems so fickle and she's falling for every person that she meets. The world that we go into in this book is really interesting. I wish we got to see more of it and got more of it built up. So I enjoyed this book. It definitely was not terrible. It was just not my cup of tea. Following Stealing Snow, I read 3 Dark Crowns, and this one was also sadly quite disappointing. I enjoyed it a lot more than I enjoyed Stealing Snow. I gave this one a 3 to 3.5, but still I felt like a lot was lacking. Now this, however, had epic build up to it. The trailer is amazing. If you haven't seen the trailer, go and watch it. The trailer for this is amazing. It gets you so hyped. It sounds amazing. It's like, okay, when kingdom come, there will be one. I mean, you're just like, this is going to be some epic battle stuff. However, this is more the setup to this epic battle, which was disappointing. So I think with this one as well, the bigger the setup, the higher the fall. So with this, like I said, it's more about the setup, so you get to meet all the princesses and you get to see their lives, which is like nice, it's okay. But it also felt a little bit more about suitors and like them being charming and attractive enough to get a suitor to support them on this battle. Also, there weren't many likable characters in this book, which I felt was probably difficult for me to relate to because I just felt like no one was actually very nice. There's 2 characters that I like, Jules and Arsinoe. They were the nicest. But then there's also an element of cheating in this book, which I do not like in stories, so I think that's another reason why for me I was just like, you are just annoying me! So that could also have affected my enjoyment of this book. And the third and final book that I read was Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. Now this was the savior of my October reads. This I gave, with like no surprise, a 5 stars because it was really great. It was so nice to just know the fairy tales that our beloved characters of the Grisha trilogy and stuff get when they're younger, and they were great. A few of them had a moral to the story, a few of them were just plain creepy, no moral, just a creepy ass tale. And my favorite, I think, was definitely When Ice Sank Fire. That is the last story in the book, and it is the longest story in the book, and it is an Ursula retelling. Now, I've heard a lot of theories and stories about how Ursula became bad, but I've never actually read them, so that one really touched me. I was on my way to the Grand Canyon when I finished it, and the guys were in front driving and whatever, and I was just like it was amazing. Now on to November. November was a much more enjoyable reading month. The first book I read was Half Bad by Sally Green. I loved it. This also is a 5 stars, but if I could give it higher, I would. Half Bad is about a guy called Nathan who is a black witch, and there are black witches and white witches, and black witches are seen as bad and white witches are seen as good. I did read somewhere that it is slightly related to racism in somehow. However, you don't really get that in this, you just get an epic tale. So yeah, he's a black witch, but he's half black witch, half white witch, so it's just like which direction is he gonna go? And his dad is full black witch. And Nathan is the only one who can defeat his father, who is the most feared witch in this world. So the government sort of people are keeping him kind of a prisoner to use as a weapon one day, but Nathan doesn't want to be a weapon, he just wants to be a witch and left alone. And so it follows him on his life of like being captured, being imprisoned, and everything that happens to him. It's told from first person in the most unique, delicious first person telling way. The story is fast paced and action packed, and it's woo! The second book I read in November was This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab, another delicious, epically written book. This was my first V.E. Schwab book, and I'm definitely going to read all the rest. I've heard such good things about her, and I said I was going to read it, so finally I was like, you know what, This Savage Song, why not? And oh my goodness, it was such an adventure. It was incredible. And This Savage Song is my first monster story, which was so exciting. So there are monsters and there are humans, and they all live together, but there are separate sort of sides of what they live on, and there's like an underground brewing war. And there's Kate, who we follow. We follow Kate's life. Kate is a human, and it's like how her side is like, monsters are bad, let's destroy the monsters. And then we have August, beautiful, beautiful August, who is a monster. But like, what to do? I mean, that's how he's born. What can he do about how he's born? Like, leave him alone. So anyways, somehow in this deliciously epic story, Kate and August get thrust together and they have to find a way to survive, and it's incredible. It was also so full of betrayal and just gives you a whole different perspective and shows you how things are never what they seem, and it kind of makes you think that perhaps humans are more monster than monsters. And the third and final book that I read in November was Cress. This is the third book in the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Mayer. The first one is Cinder, the second one is Scarlet. They're all retellings of famous stories that we know. So Cinder is Cinderella, Scarlet is Red Riding Hood, and Crest is Rapunzel, hence the long hair. However, all these beautiful, delicious fairy tale characters merge together and go on one epic space adventure, space/future dystopian adventure that I love. And I can't tell you too much because it's the third book in the series, so, you know, spoilers, but read the Lunar Chronicles if you haven't already, and I thoroughly enjoyed Cress, and I'm so looking forward to getting into winter when I find it because my bookstore was sold out. And those are all the delicious books and not so delicious books that I read in October and November, but yes, November was definitely an epic reading month, and I'm looking forward to all the delicious books that I'm going to get into in December. Now, as usual, if you would like a free copy of the first book in my YA fantasy saga, the Water Rushes series, then please click the link below, and you will get a free copy sent straight to your inbox, and until next time, I'll see you. Bye!